Hello, ladies. Welcome to A Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. We are glad that you are joining us on tonight. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets. That is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, ladies, make sure you ask your questions and leave some comments. Join in on the conversation. You are here to be a part of this sisterhood. All right, we'll be on shortly. Check out the website toawomansheart.com. Stay tuned. We're coming up next. Well, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of To a Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. So we've been on this road, this train in empowering and educating women, and so we want to continue this because there's information out there that a lot of us don't receive, we don't understand. So we're providing a platform where you can get as much information as possible so you can make the best decision to have a healthier life for yourself. And so tonight, I have my mentor, my business partner, Thea Wright, and she's joining us, and we're going to be talking about restoring your credit. Anything questions you have about credit, don't feel like any question is too small or too big to ask. We are here to enlighten you on some things that you may not be aware of. So right now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to let Thea introduce herself.
Well, first, I want to give it back to you, Queen. You are a phenomenal leader. Thank you for having this platform where we can reach out to the people, because it's all about kingdom building and just getting that knowledge out there, because knowledge is power. So thank you for this platform. It's an honor to be on here and speak to your guests. My name is Sarah Wright, and I own a piece of a credit franchise. It has totally changed my life because, we weren't taught about credit in school. We weren't taught about finances in school. But a little bit about my story. Last year, I started this credit franchise because I needed help with my credit. Okay. Before, I was like in the high 60s, pinching the 700 club. And then I started getting these high limit credit cards, and I got a little irresponsible, just to be 100, got a little irresponsible. And my credit dropped all the way down to 513, 510s, 505. Like, it was crazy. And I had a little aha moment, like, you know what? It's time for me to be accountable for my actions and do something about it. Long story short, I got in front of some information. I got with this program, and the program that I will refer to later, it shot my score up 74 points within the first 45 days. I could not believe that. I was like, oh my goodness, because it was so fast. And then 74 points, I'm like, oh, okay, finally it's someone legit, because you can spend thousands of dollars on fixing your credit and nothing happens. Even with the attorney offices, they'll just take your money and do very little, very minimal. So it's been a blessing ever since then. I have grown my business tremendously, nationwide, helping people get in the cars and homes of their dreams. So I am so excited about what's next, how many more people we can help. And I just want to share our services and talk a little bit about who we are and what we can offer, because credit is so important. It is just like the seed to your financial well-being. So I'm gonna share my screen really quick with you all and just talk about who we are as a company and what we have to offer. So let's see here.
And so while we wait for her, she's getting a screen up. A lot of people really don't understand credit, as I didn't. Like Thea said, we wasn't taught about the importance of credit, and hence why we were so reckless with the things that we did in life. And we have to have a come to Jesus meeting, especially everybody need to come to Jesus meeting. When you
Yes.
want to buy that house, you want to buy that car, what you don't want is to walk into a car dealership, you want to sit at the table to think about purchasing a home and somebody tell you you can't, because that's like you built up this fire that you have your hopes and your dreams up there, and then somebody comes along and drops a bucket of water on your fire. Now you're
Yes.
distraught and you think you cannot recover. And so we're saying today you can recover.
Yes.
You can recover. There is a path you can take. Now, is it going to be an easy path? No. But you got to stay the course. Anything that's going to come something good out of, you have to stay the course. So that's what we're saying today. Just stay the course. It'll be a good thing at the end of the road.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Hold on. Let me add it. There we go.
Okay. Let me know when it's okay to begin.
It's okay. Go ahead.
All right. So who are we? We are United Credit Education Services. We are a company you can rely on. We were founded in 2004, headquartered in Farmington Hills, Michigan. We have a unique collection of services carefully selected to provide financial protection and opportunity. We are a completely debt-free company that has helped thousands of people, which just means we walk it like we talk it, okay? And then we have the same key executives since the inception of the company. So good credit makes it easier to get the new houses, the new cars, low interest rate on credit cards and loans, higher limits, contracts without security deposits. I know sometimes we want to get some cable and depending on your credit, you got to put a security deposit down. Well, good credit will allow you to make that, get that contract without that security deposit. Ultimately, a good credit score opens up possibilities to create the lifestyle you desire. So how is credit calculated? I really wanted to focus on this. And over 100% spectrum, 35% is your payment history. Okay, it's the largest percent of how credit is calculated. And what does that mean? It's just your on-time payments versus your delinquencies. So paying those bills on time is so important. It's so important. One late payment can cost you 50 to 100 points. And it's easy to mess credit up, but it's so hard to get it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
30% is capacity and amount owed. That's just the percentage of credit limits available. So that's the capacity of credit you have and the amount of credit you owe. We like to do the 30% rule. That means, let's say you have a credit card with $1,000 limit. Think of it as only having $300 to spend. If you play that little game and you spend less than 30%, then it will look good to the creditors. If you spend over 30% or you max out your cards, it will make you look desperate, in desperate need of money. And that's not a good look. 15% is length of credit. It's how long you've had your accounts. The longer you've had your accounts, the better your score. 10% is new credit inquiries. That's the number of inquiries and new accounts open from months 12 to 18. We like to do the power of 5. So if you have 1 to 2 credit inquiries over a 12-month span, that's good. It has no harm on your report. If you get 3 to 4, you're kind of going to the edge. Okay, you're kind of pushing it. And if you get 5 or more, then you're going to fall off that edge. And it's not going to look good to people who are running your credit. So no more than 5 credit inquiries every year, every 12 months, but try to stay as low as possible. And then 10% is the types of credit. That's installment loans versus revolving loans. And installment loans are like your auto loans, your mortgage, and then revolving loans are your credit cards. So you see, our company, we are more than a credit company, because credit is just one piece of the financial puzzle. We have one award-winning protection plan and 12 life-changing products. So budgeting. We will strategically help you budget. It's so important to know what's coming in and what's going out. Now, credit restoration. This is the topic of the hour. This is our flagship program, one of our flagship programs. This is where we leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1971, and we're able to dispute anything harming your score negatively, and we're able to do it legally, and we go after all three bureaus. A lot of the time when people or companies are working on your credit, they only go after one of the bureaus. But there are three credit bureaus, and different organizations take from different bureaus, okay? So we attack all three at the same time, which allows our clients to get maximum results. Credit Builder. This is where we teach you about credit, and we give you resources on how to build it. Then credit attorneys. You'll have access to over 300 credit attorneys and credit analysts who are there to work for you. So if you're having those harassing calls early in the morning or too late at night, our credit attorneys, all you have to do is reach out and they will go to bat for you. Credit monitoring. A lot of people use Credit Karma or Credit Sesame, but those platforms, they don't give accurate reporting because they use the Vantage score, not the FICO. So we have our own credit monitoring platform called Smart Credit, where we give you accurate scores, accurate reporting. And within this monitoring platform, there's a 120-day to better credit program. And then debt payoff. We will strategically help you pay off your debt and beat the banks at those interest rates. Financial lockbox. It's just like a virtual security deposit box, right? So you can upload your important documents like your social security cards, your passports, or birth certificates, and they'll be in a safe place where you'll never lose them. A good story we like to tell is one of our business partners went out of the country, and she lost her passport, but she was able to still enjoy her vacation because she can just open up her financial lockbox from her back office and show her passport. Then identity monitoring. You hear that pause that I just took? Every 2 seconds, someone's identity is being stolen. We protect you and your assets up to $1 million, and we also handle pre-existing conditions. Network. Now, we all know the net worths of these celebrities, Jay-Z, Beyonce, but you have a network too. You have a network too. If you have a savings or a 401k or an IRA, anything like that, you have a network, and we help you identify that. And then savings goal. We strategically help you save for purchases in the future, like a home or a car. And will and trust. This one is so important. Life is so full of unexpectancies. You will have a will and trust, power of attorney, power of health care attorney, all in your subscription to help protect you and your family. And then our YFL Family Mint is our baby program, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So it's important for you to build your financial future. It's important for you to organize your financial future. And it's also important for you to protect your financial future. So with our program, you'll be able to have a roadmap. So we will tell you what to do, when to do it, from month 1 all the way through month 10 plus. So you'll never be in the dark. You'll know exactly what to do. In month 1, you'll see we'll activate your credit restoration and start the dispute letter process. Then we'll move on to month 2, where we, add positive credit to your profile, introduce you to some trade lines, all the way up to month 10 plus. Keep track of everything through your back office dashboard. You will get an app so that you can log into your dashboard and keep track of everything. That's one thing that sets us apart from a lot of people. Most people are always in the dark. You'll never be in the dark. You'll have access to what's going on at all times. Then we have a customer referral program. It gives you the opportunity to get your UCES protection plan for free. I don't know. If you like free, put free in the chat box. And you're probably asking, well, how do you do that? All you have to do is recommend potential new customers to your enrolling agent. If 5 of your referrals enroll, you will get your next month's services for free. Partner with a company that gives back. We have a youth financial literacy program, which I spoke about earlier. It provides financial literacy lessons to schools across the U.S. We educate students in the 5th through 9th grade on matters of personal finance, and $2 from each monthly protection plan payment supports educational programs and scholarships. These are how much money we've raised so far. So in 2016, we raised $100,000 in scholarships. In 2020, fast forward to 2020, we raised $400,000 in college scholarships. That's over $1 million donated so far. In 2021, we just announced the winners. We raised $600,000 in college scholarships, and we just announced the winners like a couple of days ago. That's major because we are already helping students be debt-free. That's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I'm going to stop sharing so we can open up this platform for questions if you have any. Let's see.
Okay, since when you close, what is the repercussions of closing accounts? Because some people think when they pay off credit cards, it's a good thing. They don't want their account anymore. They just close it, but they don't realize how much of an effect it has on their credit when they close the accounts.
It is, you're absolutely right. There is a more negative effect when you close an account. You should never close an account. Let's say a credit card, right? If you have a credit card, you never want to close it. You want to keep some money on it, because even if you close it, it's still going to be reported on your credit as a negative item. So closed accounts are reported negatively on your reports.
Okay, so with the credit monitoring, I mean, how does that really work if somebody don't really understand about monitoring their credit? Because a lot of people say they do understand, but they really don't get the gist, and sometimes they just fearful of asking the question. How does that help with the credit monitoring?
Credit monitoring is so important to your credit health. So if you don't know, it's okay, because with our company, we have a program, and it takes you step by step. It tells you exactly what's harming your score, and it tells you what's helping your score. It's a 120-day program, and it is amazing. There's a whole school, I would say, of information that'll help you through the program. So credit monitoring is very, very important. And all that is keeping track of where you are, because you can't get ahead if you don't know where you are. So when you monitor your credit, you look at your credit score, you look at your credit report. There are things on your credit report that you can look at, and you can take action. A lot of people don't know there are so many errors on your credit report, and most people don't even know they're there. I believe back in 2010, there was a hack, and that caused a lot of errors to be on people's credit report. So when you monitor your credit, it's just finding your credit reports, looking at what's on them, and then looking at your scores and taking actions to get things removed and taking actions to increase your score.
Okay, so here's a question. What if you have good credit and a credit card company isn't providing you benefits?
That is really, really odd. Can you be a little more specific? Is there a way we
So
can?
so say if you got I'll give you an example. Credit one.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of individuals have credit one because they're trying to build their credit back up. But credit one don't provide you any benefits for having that credit card. You're just constantly paying. And even if you pay the credit card down, they still charge you $10 on your credit card. You don't want to close the card, but the charges are still going towards the card. Charges that you're not making. They're pretty much just fees.
Yes, Credit One is a terrible credit card to have because of all the fees. Um, it will help if you pay on time because they do report to the credit bureaus. But it is not one of the credit cards that we recommend. There are other options that are much better.
Okay, so the next question, I have enough credit, but one CC isn't giving me any benefits or perks like my larger balance. One credit card isn't giving me any benefits or perks like my larger balance compared. I meant my larger credit card, sorry.
It really depends on the company. It really depends on the credit card company that you choose. Either way, though, having multiple cards open is actually helping you because the larger your limit, the better.
Okay, so do that create value if you have a lot of, because some people are like, oh, I got too many credit cards. If it's like over 10 cards. So does that create a better credit worthiness?
10 cards is a bit much. We don't want that many, but having like 3 or 4 cards open is fine. But yeah, 10 is a bit much.
So they say, will that hurt your score if you have too many credit cards?
It won't hurt by having that many. But what the bureaus look at is different types of credit. So you don't want to have too many credit cards, but you want to have a credit card, a auto loan, a mortgage. You want to have different types of credit like that. As long as you're paying your credit cards on time and you're staying under 30%, it cannot hurt you.
Okay, is that for all cards in total, under 30%, or just the one? Okay, all cards in total.
All cards. Always stay under 30% for all cards. But we like to practice excellency, and we teach our customers to stay under 10% if possible.
Okay. What about when people ask for increase in balance? I mean, they want to increase their card balance. Is that good, or is that good or bad?
That's great. Yes, I recommend that you ask for balance increases. And typically credit cards will give you if you've shown a positive payment history.
Okay, so if you go into, say I'm deciding to buy a house, and I've glanced at my credit, because this has been some of my things since I've been, looking into this. As I told you earlier, people actually think that a 600 score is really an awesome score. They think it really is. But when you look at the scales, and even when you look at all the bureaus, you see that the 600 is actually in the poor range. It's not even close to even being good.
That's true. 600 is not good. And I come across that a lot. People reach out to me to help with their credit, and they show a little interest, and then they say, well, my credit is good. It's in the 600. That's not good. That's actually poor. If you do in school you get grades A, B, C, D, F, it's a D. It's a D. So 600 is not good. And then if you're trying to buy a home, I partner with a lot of realtors. They're looking at 650, 670 to even, start. And then, of course, your debt to income ratio. So being above in the 670 and above is really a good place to start when you're looking for a home. But yeah, 600, it unfortunately is not good.
Okay, what about when it comes down to purchasing a car? Does that fall in the same scenario as buying a home? The 670 is a good range, because I know credit score also helps reduce your interest rate.
Yes. So the higher your score, the lower interest rates you will qualify for. And yes, It is the same. But of course, you can still get a car with bad credit. You can still get a home with bad credit. The difference is you can buy a car with good credit and get a low interest rate so that you won't be paying triple for the car. Say the car is $16,000. You got bad credit, you're probably going to pay around $25,000 to $30,000 for that car because of the interest.
Yeah. So here's a question. How often should you ask for a balance increase?
That is a good question. I don't have like a specific amount of time, but I would definitely recommend asking for an increase at least once a year. Once a year is fine, maybe twice.
Okay. Why do we have so many credit scores? Example, Credit Karma, you mean Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Those are the three main ones, but a lot of people don't know there are more. But the three main ones that most companies look at are the Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So even though there's a lot, there's only three that companies really look at.
Okay, but I noticed too, in those three areas, each one have different scores.
Yes, they do.
And why is that?
It's how can I put this? Each credit bureau calculates things differently. There are Vantage scores. So some of the credit bureaus may use the Vantage score. And then there are FICO scores. And some of the credit bureaus may use the FICO score. So that's why they're different. It's weird. Like they all should be using the same thing, but there are different models. And that's why scores come up different. And then there are different things that are reported to different bureaus. And that's another reason why credit scores come up different on all three of the bureaus.
Okay, so what do you mean by Vantage scores and FICO scores? So
it's just a model. So like we were doing the range. The Vantage score, it goes from like 300 to 8 something, and then the FICO scores goes down to 200. So it's just the range of numbers and how they're calculated. That's the difference between Vantage and FICO.
Okay, so when we talk about Vantage and FICO scores, the FICO go down to 200, Vantage go down to 300. That's like a setup to me because people think you can't go any lower than 500, and now as we're talking about it, you can go as low as 200. And I don't think we realize that these plateaus exist in the credit world. Hence why we end up in situations we don't understand how we get in them, and then it's hard for us to figure out how to get out.
Yeah. You can even have a 0 credit score. If you have no credit, you can have a 0.
Okay, so I've heard, even with sitting with people and just listening, if you have a good credit score, that's good. But if you don't have no credit score, that can be bad.
That is bad because you won't qualify for anything. So if you have a 0 credit score, you have no credit, then you have to get some positive credit. You have to get it. Yep.
Right. So keeping your money up on the mattress don't work in 2021.
It's all about credit. They want credit.
Right.
They want credit.
Right. So here's a question. What's a good starter car for someone trying to build their credit?
A starter, what was that?
Starter card. Like a card like they have in the database. They suggest cards you can, credit card that you can start with. Yeah.
A secure card is always best to start. And we actually have those with First Progress. So secure card, because you won't be borrowing the bank's money. You will be using your own money and it will be recorded.
Okay. So what credit scores does lenders use, the highest or lowest?
They're going to use the lowest. They're going to use the lowest. And most of the time it's from Experian.
Really?
Yes.
So why they use the lowest? Is that just a leverage to get a bigger bang for the buck? Cause that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, consider that all three of these scores are different and they're all measured on different measures. So if you're taking the lowest score, to me, you're trying to get the biggest bang for your buck finance wise. That's why I look at it.
Absolutely. That's why it's important to be over 650 because they're going to take the lowest anyway. And your lowest score is typically on your Experian report. I'm not sure why that is, but it's just a known fact that Experian typically gives you your lowest score.
So it's TransUnion and then Equifax and then Experian? Because TransUnion uses the higher score, right? Yeah. And then Equifax is second and Experian is 3.
Sometimes you can have the same score across 2 bureaus too. Like I've had at one point my Experian, my Equifax, and my TransUnion was the same. So sometimes they are the same.
Okay, so how when individuals have collections on their credit, how does that work? Because I know there's been a lot of questions about collections on individuals' credit. How does that work?
Removing them?
Mm-hmm.
It's a disputing process.
Okay.
So legally, companies have the right to put your balances in collection. Once it goes into collection, the only way to get it out is to dispute it. Get it off is to dispute it.
Okay. I also know that, in talking to people that different, and I've experienced this too. I've been through a credit repair service once before. And when I tell you they hit your account and they hit your account and they hit your account and you don't know what's going on, period. Until it gets to a point that you get so peed off, you be like, we're going to cancel this. I'm going to find another route to go because now you're trying to milk me for my money and you're not giving me no help in improving what I need to improve. And if I've been doing it for 2 or 3 years, I should have been further along than what I am. So what you've been doing, and they're not cheap.
Preach.
They're not cheap. And I talked to a couple of people that ain't got hoodwinked like this. And I'm saying this because when we present opportunities to people, the defense mechanism go up instantly. Because they think what you're trying to present them, you're trying to get over on them. But here is where I differ with this program here and this service here. And I'm going to tell you the honest, because I keep it 100. I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Me too.
I keep it 100. The reason why I like this service here is because I'm allowed to see my own progress. Nobody has to feed me anything. I can see from step to step to step to step where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I'm involved in this process. So all I'm saying to those of you listening, when you're thinking about getting a service that's going to help you repair your credit or get you into a better score, think about how they involve you in the process.
Yes.
Because when you paying somebody to do something and you don't see the results, you don't know where you at. And when you call, you don't get an answer and you keep leaving voicemail messages and you don't get a response back. Then for me, I have to walk away from that.
Yeah.
But if somebody say, okay, I'm going to give you this, it's going to cost you this amount of money, I'm going to say, okay, but I'm going to look at all the ins and outs of it. But like I said, the one thing that worked for me is I can see everything and you can do your budget. It shows you how to pay off your debts, credit monitoring. Do y'all know credit attorneys period, cost a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money that we don't have to pay. So if you can get all these things in a service, why not?
Why not?
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Why not?
Yeah.
Or just check it out. Listen to it, and then you make the decision. But what we have to know that our credit determines where we want to go, how much we want to buy. It is our buying power.
It is.
And if you don't have that number where it needs to be, there's no need for you sitting in front of a loan officer and getting upset. There's no need for you sitting in a car dealership and getting upset. And we can invest in Jordans and weaves and wigs and red bottoms and all that stuff. Why not invest in yourself?
Yes. Yes.
That's all I'm saying. Let us invest in ourselves. That's the best investment.
You can go from decline to which color, what size. You know, those are two different people. I can go into a car dealership and not get approved for anything with bad credit. And then if I get good credit, I can go into a car dealership and be like, they'll be like, Miss Wright, what color would you like? You know, it's
right.
the same person, but different credit.
Yeah, and they let you walk out the dealership with the car.
Yeah.
Depending on your number of your credit score. Okay, here's the question. Can you give 3 takeaways that can help people raise credit ratings?
Yes. 3 takeaways. Monitor your credit. That's one. Because you have to know how to increase it. 2 is get involved in a credit restoration program with people who can really help you full circle 360. And then the next one I would recommend is a trade line. Trade lines are the number one product to increase your score.
So can you tell them because a lot of people don't know what a trade line is.
Yes, absolutely. So a trade line can be a secure card, a credit card. What we also offer Credit My Rent, is where you can get credit for rent reporting. So those are 3 trade lines that you can take advantage of.
Okay. So somebody said, yes, I am a customer and I am very pleased. My credit score continues to rise. I am in control of my credit just by logging onto the site and following the instructions. Okay. So everything is not meant to be a battle, everybody. It is not. It's not meant to be a battle, but you have to make the conscious decision what you want for yourself. And then when the opportunity is presented, you can't continue to blame somebody else when the help is being presented to you. And the choice is yours. And maybe it's not you. Maybe your credit score is an 800. Maybe it's a 780. But there's a lot of us who's sitting in our homes right now that needs help on our credit scores. And because of fear, or we feel like somebody's going to talk about us or say something bad about us, nobody has no room to talk about anybody. We don't. Everybody has been on that road, including myself.
Me
and
too.
Something that happened to me, I did it to myself. But we have to be conscious, we have to be aware, and we have to be knowledgeable of things that would prevent us from purchasing or having great buying power. That's all this is about. It's about informing. Now, if you want to have a little more information about the services, you can contact me or you can contact Thera. Either one, that's fine. And you can share this with somebody that you know that may be struggling and they don't know which way to go or how to start. We can help them start.
Yes, absolutely.
Just put one foot in front of the other. That's it. Pray about it. You're struggling. Ask the Lord to lead and guide you in the directions you need to go. Yes. This is the year, I've been saying this since January 1st. This is the year of walking in greatness. And I'll continue to say it's the year of walking in greatness, but we have to empower ourselves to be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's it. And I'm not saying I know everything, because I don't. Right. But in my 60 years of life, let me tell you, I've experienced some ups and some downs and some ins and some outs. And this platform is to empower us, to bring information to you so you can make the best decision for your life. Any more questions? Anybody have any other questions? If not, we're going to tell Thera. We thank her so much for coming on and enlightening us on see questions above. Let me see. What did I miss? Reposting this question that looked like. We answered the scores are different. Why? We answered how often you ask for balance increase. We answered about what's a good starting card.
Yeah, I think we got them. I'm looking too.
I think we have them all. If they did not come through, can you enter your question again, and we will make sure we answer, because we don't want nobody to leave with your questions unanswered. Okay, when using credit cards to build credit, do you recommend paying balances off completely each month or carrying a small balance?
Yes, always keep a small balance on your card. So do not completely pay them off.
Right. And the thing I say with that, find you, if you got Netflix that you pay that monthly, put the Netflix on there.
Yep,
you follow what I'm saying? Just a small bill. It's just something to keep the card active, and it won't lay dormant.
Yep.
That's all. Because they do look at the activity on the card. So are there any other questions?
It's a game. You just got to play their game. Stay under 30% of those credit cards. Pay on time. You can even pay one payment 15 days before your due date, and then pay almost the remaining on the due date, and it tricks the system into believing you made 2 payments.
Yeah, because I had a card, and I was doing that, not even knowing what you were saying, right? I looked up and I was like, I didn't ask for no credit increase. What is going on? And then I heard that, and I was like, is that what increasing my credit score? I'm like, but my father always taught me to pay over on stuff, pay it on time, and that's what I've done most of my adult life, but it never dawned on me that was what I was doing. Okay. What's considered small? Okay, you see his theory.
I see it, yeah. So anything under 10% is considered small. So what you heard is correct.
And somebody said they pay off theirs immediately. So it's not good to pay them off immediately, right?
No, you always want to keep a small balance on there. We want to pay on time, but we don't want to completely pay them off.
Okay, so here's a question. So say you got a car note, right?
Mm-hmm.
And car notes are, 5 or 6 years to pay off. And say your car note is $350, but you pay $500 every month. That means it'll reduce the years that you'll pay off the car. Mm-hmm. Is that good?
That is good.
Okay.
That is good, because it'll lower the time you have to pay off. My fiance actually does that. He pays more than his car note, so he can be done with it.
Yeah, I do that too on mine. And the reason I ask, because I do it so much that they ask me it got down to like $150. I mean, you want to pay $150? No, I don't want to pay $150. I'm going to pay what I've been paying all the time, because I want this note to go away.
Exactly.
You know, but people don't realize when you do that, they will. That's a trick of the system too. Even though you're paying over, they'll send you another. You be like, oh, I don't have to pay this. And then you're losing your ground, because the purpose of doing it is to pay it off quicker, so you won't have the car note.
Yes.
Repeat what you said about the 9 days prior.
15 days prior. So if you have a balance due date, pay a portion of that balance 15 days prior to that due date, and then pay almost the remaining on that due date. And it tricks the system into believing you've made 2 on-time payments.
Yeah, it works. I figured that out accidentally. It was on accident, but I was like shocked. I'm like, I didn't put in for this.
No. Come on, accident.
Yeah, come on, accident. I was like, Now it makes sense. Okay. All right. Any other questions? We want to make sure they say that's good stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions that your inquiring minds want to know about restoring your credit? Again, I'm gonna reiterate. So they were telling about the company in which we're talking about that they can get service from.
So, if you want to learn more, we are United Credit Education Services, but it is a credit franchise. So we each own a piece of the credit franchise. So if you want to learn more about getting your credit restored and then just getting on the right track to financial freedom, reach out to either of us and we can definitely get you started the right way.
Okay, so we want to create our credit buying power here. You want to get that house, you want to get that car, you want to be able to walk in the store and just put that card down, that black card. We talking about a black card now. Just put it down and keep it moving. Come on, let's work on getting that credit right today. And make sure y'all share this information because there is somebody who did not chime in on today who needs this information.
Yes.
And they really, really need it. So we want to share the wealth. It's not meant for us to keep it to ourselves, but it's meant for us to share it.
Amen.
Okay? And that's how we create a chain effect, by sharing the information.
Yes.
And everybody can go up the ladder, not just one of us. We all can climb up together. And then again, we're going to pray about this thing for just pray. The Lord is in this too now.
Absolutely. We are definitely a God first movement. We are on a mission. It's bigger than credit. It's bigger than finances. We're trying to break generational curses because, like we mentioned before, we weren't taught about this in our households and schools. None of that. So we're a little behind. But that's why it's bigger than us. We are really, really aiming to break generational curses. I was just looking at a wealth chart today. One of my mentors shared it, and it had Blacks, Hispanics, and Caucasians, and their wealth on the bar graph. The Caucasians' wealth was so much higher than the Hispanics and the Blacks, and it was just disturbing. It was disturbing.
It's very disturbing.
We got to do something. We got to break these curses. We got to share this information, and we have to build.
We have to help each other. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
More blessed to give than it is to receive. So come on, let's be some givers and bless somebody with an opportunity where they can improve their credit score.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I thank you all for tuning in. I thank Thera for joining in and sharing her knowledge, my mentor, her beautiful spirit, her gorgeous smile, her high energy. Great queen, great queen, great queen. And I thank you all for tuning in. And as I've said before, I hope that you have been enlightened and you learned something tonight. And make sure you share. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media outlets. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest. And do subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out the website. Okay? That was a mouthful.
You working.
Yeah, we working. Okay, hold on, Thea, until we talk next week. Well, that concludes another episode of To a Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. We do thank you for joining. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media outlets. That is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm asking that every woman would invite a woman. Wednesdays, we will be back at 7:30 having conversations. On Tuesday at 7:30, we are highlighting women in business. And please do check out the website, toawomansheart.com. Let us spread love. We're walking in greatness this year, building, bonding, and believing in sisterhood, working on becoming our better, best selves. Until we talk again.